they actually have to release financial data often. And fortunately for us, they did so at the end of last quarter, as public companies are required to do. It's not for financial reasons, and it's not because of content. The content was great. I mean, that would be like saying that the Epstein files should be released. Earnings are down for the whole company from the same quarter last year because they had the Super Bowl. And you can see that it has three major business units. You've got the TV unit, the direct-to-consumer unit, and the filmed entertainment division. And from what the press release says, one can only assume that the TV unit is dragging them down, right?
Did CBS just pull the plug on Stephen Colbert to save money? Or is there something way more sinister at play? We've uncovered details about a Trump-linked secret deal that might explain this shocking move. And you won't believe how a big merger fits into the picture. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. CBS says they canceled Stephen Colbert's show for financial reasons. But let's stop for a second and think about that. Does anyone really believe it? This is a show that dominated late-night TV for 7 straight seasons. Colbert wasn't just successful, he was breaking ratings records and hauling in cash. And CBS decides to cancel it. During a merger, that smells fishier than week-old sushi.
I'm sure it's nothing more than a financial decision, like they said. I mean, corporate liars don't just say one thing when they mean another. So these numbers are in millions, so that the top line figure is $7 billion in revenue, broken down by $4.5 billion in TV dollars, by 2% year over year if you exclude the Super Bowl. So all units are pulling in revenue, and other non-operational losses is around $334 million. It's not too shabby, but hang on. That's actually a pretty significant cut into operating income, right?
Their official statement paints the decision as cost-cutting, but here's the thing. Colbert wasn't just any late-night host pulling in some decent numbers. He was the late-night host. His show drew in huge advertiser dollars, making it a shiny jewel in Paramount's earnings crown. Last quarter alone, Paramount's TV division brought in $4.5 billion. Yes, that's billion with a B. So canceling Colbert to save money is like shutting down Starbucks because the coffee's too popular. No one's buying that excuse, CBS. Now, if you zoom out, the timing of this starts to feel even shadier. Paramount has other divisions that are bleeding money, especially their struggling streaming services. Want to guess how much those lost in just one quarter? $19 million. While Colbert's show was basically printing money, Paramount's streaming platforms were burning through it like a failed startup. So, was cutting Colbert about fixing financial woes, or was he just a convenient scapegoat in a messy balancing act? And then there's the elephant, or should I say the orange-tinted elephant, in the room. Just weeks before the cancellation, Colbert ripped into Donald Trump, mocking him over that $2 million 60 Minutes interview fiasco. He didn't hold back, calling it a big fat bribe. It's hard not to notice that the official line from CBS doesn't account for the convenient timing. Was this really just business, or was there a little outside pressure involved?
They don't make superficial pronouncements, then doth protest too much when they take us off the scent by saying something like, and wrong, just very wrong. No, look, I'm sure the math all works out. So why don't we just, take a look? So another unfortunate thing for Paramount is that I know how to read a financial statement. So before we drill down to show you how BS this announcement was, a couple of notes. But they have an auditor's note, very clear and present in the financials, making sure to clarify that their revenue is actually up of $217 million. You heard that right. Hold that thought.
One thing's clear, CBS's financial reasons excuse doesn't hold up to scrutiny. The real question is, were they silencing a critic to clear the way for bigger corporate goals? Or was this about keeping Trump in a good mood? Let's see where that trail leads. What if Stephen Colbert's cancellation had nothing to do with money and everything to do with keeping Trump happy? Let's piece this together. At the center of all this is the massive Paramount-Skydance merger, an $8 billion deal that could shoot up to a combined value of $28 billion. For that deal to go through, it needs the FCC's blessing. But here's the kicker. The FCC doesn't always operate in a vacuum. Political influence, lobbying, and outside pressures can nudge their decision-making, especially with stakes this high. Now, let's rewind to Colbert's recent monologue. Right before getting axed, Colbert went after Trump, roasting him over Paramount's $2 million payout to settle that 60 Minutes lawsuit. He called it, quote, a big fat bribe. That's like poking a bear with a stick, and not just any bear, but Trump, the king of grudge holding.
And that they're on my desk right now, and then saying there's no list, Biden made it up. That would be nuts. So they reported $688 million in operating income before depreciation, amortization, interest, and reserving for taxes and stuff like that. $2 billion in direct-to-consumer and $627 million in filmed entertainment. But when they go to the actual earnings, it's down to $334 million. Well, that's because they had a quarterly interest payment.
Trump has never been shy about going after critics, and Colbert's loud, unapologetic insults might have struck a nerve. Suddenly, canceling Colbert doesn't feel like some random corporate decision. Imagine this like a game of chess. In order to protect the merger, Paramount's king piece, they sacrifice a pawn, Colbert. Silencing his voice could smooth the path to FCC approval, avoiding any potential problems that a Colbert-Trump feud might stir up. It's not hard to see how Paramount could come to that conclusion. Their financial situation is desperate, weighed down by massive debt. They need this deal like Trump needs his tanning lotion, or apparently a dictionary. But here's where things get murky. Over decades, we've seen how corporate goals overlap with political ones. It's not just late-night TV and FCC approvals, it's the blurring of business interests and power plays. The consequences often seep into real life. Decisions like this don't just cost one comedian a platform, they set the stage for highly influential figures to shape what voices get heard and which ones disappear.
So what you see here is the total picture for Paramount. It's the parent company for CBS that airs The Late Show with Colbert. And I won't make your eyes bleed, but when you go into the detailed financials in the release, it shows that the true earnings after interest expense, operating income, top line, right, is $600 million. So revenue less expenses, they make $600 million. So it looks like their numbers are down from last year, which is undoubtedly the argument that they're going to make.
So, Colbert's cancellation isn't just about show ratings or budgets. It's a chilling reminder of how criticism can evaporate when billion-dollar deals hang in the balance. But what does that say about free speech in America? Canceling The Late Show wasn't just about cutting costs or reshuffling late-night TV. It's a stark warning about what happens when power and money collide. Colbert had a massive platform, yet even his voice wasn't untouchable. If a comedian with record-breaking ratings can be silenced under suspicious timing, what does that mean for voices with no mega network behind them? This isn't just about a TV host. It's about protecting dissent in spaces where corporate or political pressures threaten it. Stay informed, question motives, and most importantly, support free speech, even for those who may never get the spotlight Colbert commanded. Who's next?